All right, guys, welcome to the Buff Show. We have a market update for you. So, in this episode, we're going to cover the whole state of Utah for the month of October. We're covering October of 2023 to October of 2024. And it's been kind of a wild past few weeks and month.
Yeah, for sure.
We had elections. We had interest rates drop down and then go right back up. I know because I watched it happen and
missed out on it.
Missed out because I was I'm like, oh, they're going to just keep on lowering. So I watched them get into the low sixes, and then when we just bought our house in Eden, we ended up locking at 7.1.
Oh my gross, really?
Yeah. It's I'm planning on ditching that loan though.
Too bad you didn't have like a good real estate agent to help you out with that.
Right? Yeah. So anyways, it's kind of been an interesting month. Let's dive into it. You want to cover the new listings?
All right. So new listings. Remember, we're covering October of last year to October of this year. So
for all of Utah.
All of Utah. So October of 2023, we had 4,277 new listings. October of 2024, we had 4,856. So we had about a 13% increase, which is actually a huge jump.
Yeah.
If you're looking back the last 12 months.
Yeah, that's intense. Yeah. There's a lot of new inventory popping up.
Why do you think that is?
I think people are realizing that there's a lot of people married to their rate and they just don't want to leave those low rates, just like rate locked into their house. But I think people can only wait so long. And so we've had a number of listings where people are like, my interest rate's amazing, but we just cannot stay in this house any longer. So I think that's happening a little bit.
I would say confidence. I think people's confidence in the market, in the world, and the economy is starting to
get better.
Yeah, the doom and gloom hasn't come yet, so people are like, okay, it's not going to come.
Yeah, but this was in October when people were still like,
I think they were
nervous.
I think they were edging bets, right?
Yeah.
Whether whoever they wanted to win or not to win, I think they were going, okay, if I'm going to do it, I need to do it now before this election happens and either solidifies or doesn't solidify what I need.
Yeah. So pending sales in October 2023, 2,829. October 2024, 3,179. So an increase of 12.4%. So it's like the inventory, the new listings that we got gobbled up with the pumped up demand, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
We had more pendings compared to last year.
And we didn't talk about how interest rates flipped for a second.
Well, we kind of did.
Rates,
yeah.
Right?
Like, so that's what I saw. Like I should have locked sooner, but I didn't. But I saw multiple clients who did, and it was a good bet for them.
Right. So we're going to go closed sales. October 2023, 3,154. October 2024, 3,480, a 10% increase. So we're staying, that double-digit increase, which is significant.
Yeah, that's huge. So a lot more activity happening.
And they're getting all the way to that closing table.
Yeah. This is interesting. So days on market until sale. And keep in mind, this is the days from when you list to when you go under contract, not until when you sell. And the typical contract's like 30 to 45 days. So last year in October, we were an average of 50 days until seller went under contract. This October, 57 days. So an increase of 14%, which is that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah.
And if I were to look at all these numbers, like, okay, price or more listings, days on market's going up, I would have bet that prices would be coming down because homes are taking longer to sell. We have more inventory. But the caveat to that is we're seeing more pendings and closed.
Right. It's all coming up parallel with each other.
Kind of. Yeah. Except days on market kind of went up.
Yep. Yeah. Days on market went up. When normally that would go down.
Yeah. So we're going to cover like what our price is doing.
Well, right now we're going to talk about median sales price in all of Utah. Remember, median is we line up all the sales and we start knocking off front and back until we get to the center. So October of 23, 485,000 median house. 24, 510,000. So that's a $25,000 price increase in the sales of homes. So that's a 5% increase, which is also big. I mean, $25,000 median sales price is a big swing up.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look at where we're at, we're not like super far away from our high in 2022. Like we might be 30, 40 grand below that is all. But
and even if you look in the trailing 12, The only time we've been negative where we actually dropped in value was December of last year. And honestly, it was only a 0.5% down
Mm-hmm.
from the year before. So we've progressively climbed for at least the last 11 months.
Well, and look at, like, you have December of 2022, like you see that lull in the
Mhm.
market, like that drop down. And then in December, January of 2023 was that drop down. We've been climbing up, but assuming that we're at the low point right now, I anticipate we're going to see that J curve start to spike back up
Well-
come February, March, April, when things get hot again.
Mhm.
You see that like going all the way back. You'll see prices dip a little bit as we go into December and snow.
I would say that late fall, early winter is probably the most monotone time in real estate.
Yeah.
Just consistently year over year over year.
Would you say it's a better, like if you're a buyer, is it a good time to try and buy right now?
Let me tell you what I think about that. I 100% think if you are ready and you are geared up to do it, for sure. The only caveat I see is a lot of times your inventory usually dips as well.
Yeah.
So you're not shopping at a fully stocked grocery store. So
Yeah.
you might have all the money and the produce might be cheap, but might not be the best. Or you might not be able to find.
But there's
what you're
going to be
looking for.
less people than going in the springtime. Like,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, I'd compare it to like springtime's like a fully stocked grocery store,
Mhm.
but at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the
Yep.
lines are long, everybody's
Yep.
out there and there's no deals.
The night before Mother's Day, when everyone's out there trying to, buy their groceries to
Yeah.
cook Mother's Day or
Or
Father's Day.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. So
And like me and Carr went to the grocery store last night. It was late. It was like 9 o'clock. It was quiet. It was like,
yep.
saw some deals. So we're kind of in that deal mode right now, but you're right. There's not as much inventory to pick from, but there's less competition.
Sure.
So average sales price. So the average graph, dude, is wild.
Right.
Because we
explain that. Why
because if I look at the high average price, we are above the highest average price. We're almost in record breaking average prices right now, or in line with it. So we had the highest average price
Above.
back in 2022, spring of 2022, and we are at or above that right now. So that's interesting, and it's just the way the numbers are ran. But so median sales price we're a little bit below, and average we're above. So what does that tell us? I would say maybe our pricing might have already rebounded from the lull of the big drop of 2022.
See, and I would 100% say that's true.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing a few more very high end homes move in Utah,
Yeah.
and that's really what's getting the average sales price a little bit higher than our median.
Yeah.
But for sure, we've rebounded.
Yeah.
I mean, everything shows that we have.
So last year we were 634. This year we're 681, a 7.4% increase, which is one of the largest increases we've had in the past.
What's that? That's
12 months.
$47,000
Yeah.
more.
Crazy.
All right, percent of original list price received. So basically, how much you got compared to how much you were asking for. So in October 2023, everyone was getting around 96% of what they were asking, meaning people were negotiating about 4% on their sales. In 2024, we got 96.2%, a slight increase, which I like. I like that those numbers stayed the same.
Yeah.
There's still room for negotiation,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not giving away the kitchen sink trying to get rid of properties.
And this number doesn't include
Concessions.
I wonder if it includes like price drops. I would say it's probably between asking price at the time the offer's made and
Well, it's original list price. So
original list price. I
yeah,
see.
so
Okay.
unless they take their house off the market and then relist
Gotcha.
with a renewed thing.
So that's including some price drops and things like that. So percentage of original list price received, sellers are either dropping their prices or negotiating with buyers, 3.8% right now.
Right. Yep.
And then that doesn't include seller paid concessions, which I've seen those be 25 grand, like multiple, like it seems like every deal has some.
Every single buyer deal that I've done in the last 6 months, minus one I'm in right now.
Yeah.
We've had
Concessions.
$5,000 to $15,000 in seller paid closings.
Yeah.
Which is concessions.
Yeah.
So,
And that's just buying down interest rates, paying
closing costs,
appraisal,
yeah.
lender fees, things
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
So crazy. I'd say that's a good, pretty healthy number. We're not
We're not giving-
99% like we were in 2022.
Right. Which I think there needs to be some room for negotiation because everyone wants a little bit of a victory or a win.
Yeah. Okay. So housing affordability index. This basically goes over how affordable the median house is in Utah going off of, but comparing it with interest rates and your median household income. So last year it was 71. The lower it is, the less affordable it is. Last year it was 71. This year it's 75. So we're actually slightly more affordable,
Right.
which is good.
Right. Which we've been in the last 3 months trending in that direction where 3 months prior, we were just getting less and less and less and less affordable. So since August, we've become 3 months of more affordability.
Yeah. Okay. Inventory.
Inventory of homes for sale. So October of 23, 12,038. October of 24, 13,405, an 11% increase year over year. That's we're
pretty good.
Back up. Actually, look at our 2022. I mean, we are more than what was available in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we've really,
Yeah.
so that inventory is really climbing. So,
Well, and I remember in 2021 through 2022, like inventory really started dropping in 2020, but then through 2021 and 2022, we were under 5,000 homes available at the end of any given month. Like it was crazy. So we were less than half of what we have right now. And it was just insane trying to find people homes and make that happen. And now we're 13,000. Crazy.
And here's an interesting tweak. Right now, we have more homes available on the market since there has been since the later end of the year of 2016. So going back quite a way. So even in 22, we were really close to where we're at right now.
Yeah.
But they were just moving so fast. So it was hard to get in and anything. But in reality, we're not moving as fast, a really healthy movement, I think. But we have more inventory than we've had since the later part of 2016 or the start of 2017.
Yeah, that's crazy. Huh.
So maybe, everyone talks about crazy times and stuff, but if you look over the trends, we're doing the same thing we've been doing for years. It's just the money numbers are a little bit different.
Oh man, this number keeps creeping up. So month's supply of inventory. I owe Ben Sushi on this.
Yeah, you do. You're still not there.
Yeah. We went up one.
Yeah, we went up
next month.
Yeah.
Next month, maybe. Anyways, okay. So month supply, basically this is how many months supply of inventory we would have if no new listings came on the market. And last year it was 3.8 months in October. This year we're 3.9. And I bet Ben a while ago that we'd be 4 months supply. And what they say that if you're under 6 months supply of inventory, it's a seller's market. If you're over 6 months supply of inventory, it's a buyer's market. And this is for the state of Utah. So there might be some markets where it is a buyer's market, right? Already.
You're talking micro, like in a micro market.
Yeah.
The inventory could be more than 6 months.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's crazy. So right around 4 months, still I would consider it a seller's market. Homes are on the market roughly 50 days. Like that's still not too bad if you're trying to sell a house right now.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah. But we live in a day and age where everybody wants it now. They want to post their house. They want to have it sold and gone and out of there quickly. I've been on like a listing spree the past like 6 months. It's been not 6 months, but probably 3 months where we've been doing like 1 to 2 or 3 listings a week, it seems like. And I would say most of our listings have been going within the first month. So our average days on market on our listings are probably 30 to 40 days right now. And industry average is around 50,
57.
Yeah, which I'm proud of because I feel like we're moving things quicker and still at good prices for our clients. But you just have to plan for that. If you're a seller right now, plan for it taking a little bit longer.
Right. And I think that goes down to being what you do a really good job with your listings is the reality of it. You're talking about who's your direct competition in your neighborhood and in your
Mhm.
area that you're selling against, your direct comps, and how are they priced? And then based on that, if you list appropriately, yeah, you continue to sell at that quicker rate.
Yeah.
And I think the reality of people are coming back. We talk about it a lot, but we're getting farther and farther away from that, where you could throw a house in the air and
Yeah.
before it hit the ground, it was sold. So
Yeah. So let's run through. People are watching this. We are November 15th today. Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
Yep.
Christmas is here. Snow's coming. You want to, let's do a seller scenario. You want to sell. Is now a good time to try and sell?
Ideally, I would tell you no.
Okay.
However, that doesn't always mean the case. So if you do want to sell, I would say we need to get going in like the next 7 days to 8 days, be active, because the last part of December, that's
Pretty
just
quiet.
that void where we're all, even if you want to sell, your buyers might not want to, or you might be out of town or they'll be out of town. And
Yeah.
it's just hard to get all those parties together.
hmm
So you pushed it right to crunch time if you have to sell by the end of this year, or you might have to concess a little bit more than you're wanting.
Yeah. I would say and it depends on what your plans are. Because if, let's say, let me throw a twist on it.
Okay.
You want to sell and you want to buy. So it'd be like a buy sell.
Sure.
Is now a good time to do it?
It can be
Yeah.
more beneficial in the sense that you could probably negotiate a little bit harder on your buy.
hmm
But I think that in reality, it goes up proportionally, right? So you might not be able to get quite as much as you would in the spring, or
Mhm.
you might have a little more footing.
Yeah.
And the same with the buy. You might be able to get a better
Purchase.
but if you wait till spring, you're going to get a little better sell, but not as
Yeah.
good of a buy. So, and when you start fine tuning a one-time thing,
Yeah.
it just depends on how big a house you're talking. Are we talking, very, very market malleable prices like townhomes, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, it's super easy to comp those. You can't pull a fast one over anyone because there's tons of comparables,
Right.
Identical comparables. So I think a lot of those factors take place in if I want to buy, sell now.
So I've had 3 conversations with sellers right now this week on that exact thing. Like,
Give me your pitch.
so my pitch to them was, well, what's your plan? Because I do think that as a seller, there's a good chance that next spring will be more favorable, like February, March, April, May. I think there'll be there'll be more buyers out, more demand. Obviously, there's going to be more supply though, but there's the demand that kind of meets that supply, and we'll probably see a little like that uptick in prices then. I mean, that's kind of what we've seen on these charts here. But as a seller, like, you have to factor in, okay, do I have to do snow removal? Is the house vacant?
Right.
Do I have to do snow removal? Do I have to pay the taxes and the mortgage payments up until then? If it's one of these houses was empty, and like, is there a chance of it flooding or freezing, pipes freezing, things like that? So with each one of these sellers, one's looking to buy right now. And I'm like, hey, like, I would say we're going to do photos like next Tuesday. And I'm like, let's give it a shot, see what we can make happen. If you don't get the price that you want out of your house now, we'll just hold off till next spring. No harm, no foul. We'll pull it off for 30 days, let it reset. But if you can get it under contract for a good price that makes sense, then you can get some good deals right now.
Right.
While snow's falling, right?
Right.
And he was pretty stoked with that. So it's just kind of case by case. But you got to, as a seller, you got to figure in what are your holding costs? What's it going to take to kind of maintain the property? If it's empty, it's just, there's a lot of cases where it just makes sense to try and sell it now, And then I've told each one of them, like, hey, if we don't have something by the end of December, it might make sense to pull it off around December 15th and then relist it January 15th.
Right.
Let it reset.
Let it reset days on market.
Yeah.
So it's a fresh listing coming up in the next year.
Yeah. So that's what we've been talking. And there's
basically, you hedged your bets.
right.
You went for it. If it didn't work, you didn't press it and try to force something to happen.
Yeah.
But I like that.
The other beautiful thing about selling in the wintertime?
You don't have to take care of the lawn.
Yes. Because there at multiple listings are like, look at my yard. And I'm like, just give it a few weeks. It'll be covered in snow.
White snow, exactly.
Yeah. And then same with like roofs. Like, not that you're trying to hide anything, but home inspectors, like, and buyers aren't checking roofs and like and yards in the wintertime. So
Right.
there's that advantage to selling in the wintertime. We have one client that their yard's not landscaped, and it's been like it's a newer construction home. And that a lot of the feedback we've been getting is like, well, like how much is it going to cost to landscape it and things like that. And we're like, man, we're just going to get new photos come wintertime, because
Right.
then it'll look like it has a landscaped yard just with snow, you know?
Right.
So anyways, we're not trying to be deceitful or anything, but it helps show the property in a different light. Right.
So out of sight, out of mind type of thing.
Yep. So, well, that's the market update for October. We're going to cover some of our little micro markets individually in another podcast. So if you're interested in like Morgan County or Ogden Valley, watch for those episodes as well. And if you guys have any questions or need anything, we got you covered. Thanks,
Peace.
guys.